right, we're here. Welcome in. Baseball and Coffee on Friday, July 3rd, day before Independence Day, obviously. I opened up the TikTok chat again. Seems like that's fine, so we'll have a good one here. Happy 4th of July weekend to everyone tuning into today's show from Asbury Park Beach in New Jersey. Ooh, good for you. Bruce Springsteen sends his regards, or I guess I send my regards, I don't know. Anyway, I think yesterday we were talking about dealing with checking into Paul Skenes a little bit, so we'll probably do that here in the early going today. So that'll probably be our main thing, and then we'll see what else is going on. What is up, chat? What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy 4th of July weekend to everybody. Obviously, today is like sort of the holiday, even though tomorrow's weekend. Adam, you're one of my lockdown pitchers on the show right now. I love that. I love that my pitching lives on in video game form. Very cool. So what's up to everybody? My chat said Randy Vasquez fainted last night. Ooh, I did not see that. There's also we might be reviewing some poor outings today, to tell you the truth. We'll see. So anyway, appreciate you guys for hanging with me today, everywhere you might be, here on this Friday morning. All right, let's go figure out what's going on with the standings, and then we will get this day going. All right, Friday, July 3rd. Tampa Bay, winners of 8 in a row, have now grown their lead in the AL East to 4 games over the Yankees, who are 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost their last 7. They start a series tonight with Minnesota, so they're looking to get back on track. It's crazy. They were up 3 games in the standings-ish before they lost this 7 games. So a lot can happen in a week. That's kind of how it goes. Who else is good? What else is happening in this division? More of the same. Couple teams that we're disappointed in so far. All right, AL Central, White Sox, Guardians both tied at the top. Twins are 4 back, Tigers 8 back. I thought maybe they were gonna, they need to make a push right now, Detroit, or they're gonna, because it's 1 month to the deadline. So you think you got 6 months, you really got 4 to convince ownership and your front office that you're in it. So Detroit's in trouble. Kansas City is super cooked. AL West, Rangers and Mariners are tied at the top. Houston is lurking. Athletics are lurking but fading, 3-7 in their last 10, and we don't talk about the Angels right now. NL East, Braves, they lost again. They're 50-35. At one point, they were running away with this thing. Now it's only 2.5. The Phillies did lose last night, but the Braves welcome in the Mets to Truist in Atlanta this weekend, and the Phillies are in Kansas City. Marlins also playing well. They were the best team in June. 46-42 on the season. Washington 45-43. So this is the only division now, I believe, with 4 teams over 500 is the NL East. Yeah, even that NL Central has dipped back a little bit with Pittsburgh getting back to 500. All right, NL Central. Brewers 5 up on the Cubbies. Cardinals 7.5. Cardinals and Cubs play the rivalry series this weekend at Wrigley. It should be electric. Pirates 10.5 back, and they are now 500. We're going to talk about them in a minute. And then the Reds, who look not so great, even though they did beat the Miz yesterday. They are 40-46. NL West, Dodgers 57-31. They won again last night with a huge offensive game. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're way going away the best team in baseball, in my opinion. I know the Brewers are kind of close to them in record and run differential, but it just feels different. They're 13 up on the Diamondbacks and the Padres. All right, let me delete a whole bunch of tabs here from yesterday's stream, and then let's look at our coffee cups from last night. Our winner. Ooh. The heel, Dalton Rushing, is the winner. 4 for 4, home run, 4 RBIs. Jake McCarthy 2 for 4 with a home run, 4 RBIs is next. And then Jordan Walker, 2 for 4 with a home run as well. As for the win probability added, Brian Rocchio with the walk-off home run last night. Off of Grant Taylor, who's a nasty pitcher for the White Sox. Oh, hi, Mr. Adam. I'm a big fan. Appreciate that. I'm glad I opened up the TikTok chat today. We get a little more action in the chat today. Hope you guys are good. What'd you say? Babe? What'd you say?
I'm just getting a hat.
Yeah, nobody can see you. I turned the camera. You're good. What hat would you like?
Baseball and coffee hat,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah, go get a
brand.
go get a fresh one. Go get a fresh
Did
one.
you make 2 of these blues?
Yeah.
I'll just wear this one though. No one's gonna like these.
Love you. All right, what else we got? Jake McCarthy was a very high WPA as well. We talked about him a second ago in the Coffee Cup winners. All right, as for the pitchers, Bryce Miller, 7 scoreless last night, wins the award. Mizorowski, even though he gave up all the runs, only 1 was earned, 10 strikeouts, no walks, so he gets number 2. Ian Seymour, who we watched on the stream recently, with a great outing, 6 innings, 1 run.
It says auto inside of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Oh, that looks good on you. Yeah, I like that.
I think we need to do a baby unicorn.
And then Walbert Urena, who's a guy that we should look at because we've been waiting on it for a long time. He went 5 2/3 and 1 run. So I got to put on the air conditioning because it's hot in here.
What do you think about my hat, man?
And then we can go from there. Let's see what the WPAs were for the pitchers. Bryce Miller, Majinski, Alan Rongel. What about our prospects? Any prospects pop last night? Man, this guy again, Joshua Baez, 3 for 3, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. What's he up to? Like 27 home runs or something now in AAA for the Cardinals? Crazy. Ike Irish, great name, 2 homer games. Zaire Hope. That's that other Dodgers outfielder. The Dodgers AA outfield of Sirota, DePaula, and Hope. Crazy. A lot of home runs from the prospects last night. Florentino, Quintero, Montes, Lara, Rodriguez, Fluelling, and Morales. I do need to do an update on the numbers because there was a midseason update, so mine are a little lagging here. And then for the pitchers in the minors, Elmer Rodriguez, Ken DiChorio, 6 innings, 1 run. Seth Hernandez actually got bodied a little bit in high A, 7 Ks, but give up 8 hits, 5 runs. Jonah Tong, 3 runs in 5 innings. Kyson Witherspoon. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Let me get here in the chat for a minute, and then we'll hop off to Paul Skenes land, and then we'll go from there. Can I review Peyton Toley's last outing? So if we're looking at poor outings, we might have to. Yeah. What is this? NBA owners clawed back $317 million of money held in escrow from the players yesterday. Sheesh. A lot of people don't know about that. That's not good, though. That means that the revenues that they're disclosing weren't as high as they thought. Anyway. Okay, what else we got here in the chat? Braves are about to get right back on track. Why? Because they're playing the Mets. And that's what you said. Yep, the cure for a struggling series is a series against the Mets. We'll see what happens. You never know, Mets Braves. Let's go Mets. Thank you, Adam. Don't know how good we had it until we didn't. The reason why is just because for a starting pitcher, if you don't, it's missing 1 start. So you have to make the suspension a little longer or whatever. How do I feel about Chase Burns? Feel really good about him. I think he's awesome. He is a 2-pitch pitcher, and eventually he'll have to adjust. But for right now, he's shoving on everybody, and it's just working, and nobody's used to it yet. His exact layer of fastball, breaking ball. All right, here we go. So Skenes, 7 earned runs, 4 innings pitched the other day versus the Phillies. That's what I wanted to track today. More than anything, there's been a lot of questions about Paul. I didn't even vote for him for my All-Star team yesterday. When I did All-Star yesterday, I voted for his teammate Ashcraft over him. Not to say he's not still having a really good year. I mean, yes, he's 6-8, but I mean, he's got a 1.01 whip. He's got 119 punchies in 97 innings. He's had a couple clunkers, which is really the interesting part as of late. So we'll kind of break down that and try to see what we can find. Obviously, all the expected numbers and all the StatCast baseball savant sliders are looking good. I mean, he's above average in every single thing. So, and top of the scale in several. So there really isn't too many obvious red flags right off the, top of mind here, but he has had 2 clunkers in a row. 5 innings, 4 runs versus the Reds on June 26th. And then this one that we're going to watch right now, 4 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, 2 home runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts versus the Phillies. All right, so it's 2 consecutive clunkers where he's given up more hits than he's used to giving up, I would say. He's given up 6 hits. Honestly, he's given up a lot of hits going back all the way, if I look here hard, all the way back to the start against the Phillies. So the Phillies beat him up twice this year. May 17th, he gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, then 9 hits, 4 runs, then a 4-hit game, then 6. I don't know, more hits. So you see early on in the year, 3 hits, 2 hits, 1 hit, 3 hits, 1 hit. So hits a little bit, and then the walks aren't bad, but they're not zeros either. So it's just seems like it's a slight drawback. So let's go to this right here. All right, here's Paul Skenes' last 10 games. So we'll take a look here real quick. Do I think Cam Schlittler will win the Cy Young? He would be my leader in the clubhouse right now, American League, but it's a long way to go. All right, so this is the last 10 game report that I just generated here. Let's see. Usage in the last 2 games where he got hit a little bit. A little bit more breaking ball. I mean, nothing really glaring there. Let's check the 4-seam shape and everything. All right, so his VAA was down at 4.1 going back 3 starts, and now it's kicked up just a hair. Don't see much there. Velocity is about the same. Interestingly, against Philly, his HAA came way back. He might have moved on the rubber in this game versus Philly, and his spin rate seems to be a little bit down. So when we're watching his fastball in this start, I want to see if he moved at all where he looks like on the rubber. Sweeper-wise, he's struggled with this pitch all year, in my opinion. It got very lifty this last game, 7.5 vert. That's a lot more than normal. Changeup was his magic pitch last year. That looks fine metrically. Slider, sinker, splinker. Extension has not changed. Release height has not changed. Release side did change a little bit, so he definitely moved a touch. There's a little bit of mound movement recently, east-west, but not a whole lot. All right, let's get back into that game. So this was 2 days ago, Wednesday the 1st, maybe? Yeah, 4 innings, 6 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. What was the mix from this game specifically? 32 fastballs, 14 sweepers, 13 splits, 13 sliders, 5 sinkers, 4 changeups. Whiff rate, not bad on fastball, but pretty much non-existent on breaking ball. And he really toned down the changeup usage, which he had been using a lot more, I mentioned earlier in the season. So not really sure why. He faced a lot of lefties. First pitch strikes are acceptable. Spin rate clearly down. This is his spin in his last game. Across the board, minus 205, minus 207, minus 257, minus 219. Everything down. So don't have any judgment on that yet, but I just kind of want to watch it and see what we think about this last start. So we'll go Phillies and Pirates. This is from a couple of days ago. Paulie Skenes. Skenes' velo drop-off was in the last 2 innings. First was 97, then in the fourth, 95. Skenes changing his arm angle on different pitches, a.k.a. tipping. That doesn't usually tip too often, honestly. All right, let's do it. Let's watch this whole outing, and let's just see if he just straight up pitched bad or if there's something a little amiss. All right, first batter is Trey Turner. 4-seam strike. Here comes a sweeper. That was a strike, but he gets balled. That was actually a decent pitch. And then another sweeper, and he's going to get him out. So that was pretty good. 2 pretty good sweepers in a row. Gets him off the end, pops him up. Connor's there, 1 out. Next batter, Kyle Schwarber. Slider down, no swing.
Hi, bro.
Hey, bro. You want to come say hi?
There's a going swimming.
Oh, okay. Go swimming. Have fun, my love. So slider, slider, slider.
Hi, bro.
4-seam.
Otherwise, gravity takes it everywhere.
The drop is not that bad though, Mitch.
Oh no, Johnny, don't do it. You could be next.
On the velo.
It's so funny.
I know, that's why you have a
All right, so he goes slider, slider, slider. I just want to watch the location of this 4-seam before this strikeout pitch.
Yeah.
Up away and then back foot slider. This is a pitch that he barely threw at all this year, and he misses his location, but that was pretty nasty. Hold on, let me just recheck that for a second. So on the velocity, he was down 0.7. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that significant to me. Still averaging 96. All right, third batter, Bryce Harper.
Hitting 275.
Splinker away, good pitch, fouled off.
That delivery.
No pun intended.
Splitter away, ball.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I know. My son is, there's obviously no camp today.
He's just missing it.
So that's Splinker, Splinker, Splinker. So he's a ball of energy today. I've been up with him since 5:30. Splinker, 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 slider, and this is a death ball he's trying to throw that he threw to Schwarber. So this is a huge uptick in usage here early in the game
At ball 4.
of this type of pitch, which we haven't seen as much of as late, I believe. Now I got to go double check that again. Yeah, I mean, well, he was in the single digits with slider. And now the last 2 games, especially this one, this was a high water mark probably for the year. But I guess it's probably matchup dependent a little bit. All right, so walk to Hart.
Take the walk.
Tells you how good he's seeing it too, Ben.
Exactly.
Sweeper to Marsh. Strike. Sweeper coming again. Marsh has been on a power binge of late. Sweeper, sweeper, slider. So almost no fastball usage here early except for to Trey. Tons of these.
Track to the wall.
And that one would have been a home run if Mangum not caught that.
Right at
Yeah, that ball's over the wall. I mean, and this is the thing about the death ball slider. I've talked about it a lot. Number one, he probably raises his arm angle a little bit to throw it. So there's an element of that. But number two, like, it's a great pitch for Chase. It's not a great pitch in zone. So he got very lucky there in that first inning. All right, here is
Serves me correctly.
Wasn't it to right center as
Yeah,
well?
right. Center.
here's Alec Boehm.
Sure will.
Force him down in, fouled away, and then he's going to hit him. So starts off the second inning with a very poor hit by pitch. Just leaves the ball arm side, clips Boehm for the leadoff man to get on. Bryson Stott. Sinker misses by the entire length of the plate, entire width of the plate, I should say. Four-seam middle gets a take. Another four-seam coming here.
No one cares how hard you throw a ball for.
Underneath that.
Basically been Skenes' personal catcher.
Underneath that. And now he's trying the death ball again.
Line drive, base
But that's hit hard. I don't love this pitch that much. It's okay, but it doesn't feel like he has a high enough slot, and this is what I dealt with trying to throw this pitch too, high enough slot to really get a steep downward break. Like, you can get the ball to move down a little bit, you can get into a good location, but it's not that steep as it enters the hitting area. So even though this is below the zone, Stott's able to hit it. And with the runner getting held on there, that hole's pretty wide open at first base, so he drips it through the right side, and it's first and third, no outs. So hit by pitch, and then maybe a poor pitch choice, but it doesn't, and then it doesn't work. Base hit. So first and third, no outs. Here's JT. Little backdoor sinker strike. He would definitely trade a run for 2 outs here. That's a sweeper that did nothing and stayed up for a ball. Another sweeper. That's back-to-back sweepers that did nothing, completely backed up. That had 1 inch of horizontal movement. For a sweeper, that's weird. Splinker down. Ah! Oh my God, there's electronics in here. You can't water gun me. Oh my God, dude. Go water gun each other. Let me see this fastball again. I missed this one. Get out of here, seriously. You're gonna make everything wet. Jesus. Four seam foul ball. Sweeper coming here. Tipped foul. God, I got smoked. See, there's another sweeper that didn't look great to me with 10 inches of lift. So his sweeper, he's been struggling with it all year, and I think that's been a factor in his struggles. Just not having a great breaking ball to go to. And, you know, last year he kind of established his style where he didn't pitch much with it and was fine because his command was so good. And his usage of changeup to splinker and then four seam above that and even a sinker in between there was pretty useful. But this year I think the breaking ball has betrayed him, and now he's kind of needing it because his command hasn't looked quite as good, I guess. All right. 1-1. Another fastball here.
Popped up. Get out of here. Behind home plate, Davis.
Foul ball.
10 pitches to JT alone.
Another fastball, 97. I mean, he's not reaching back and throwing 100 anymore, which has been the case for a while.
Swing and a foul.
All right, 2-2 sweeper. Should have been a strikeout, but they already burned a challenge earlier in this at-bat unnecessarily. So he gets screwed here. Should have had a second out here to Rincones on this sweeper. Let's see what happens on the next pitch. He's going to end up walking him. So, look, the fastball command has been very iffy. The shape of the breaking ball has been very iffy. You can tell that he's a little rattled because he's changing his pitch choices a lot. Anyway, it's gonna lead us to Crawford. Another really poor miss there. And you can see here, Skenes checking his hand after the pitch. A little bit of a grip issue. Hot summer month. That ball clearly slipped out of his hand. Spin rate was down in this game. That could be a slight factor. Also, obviously, it is correlated with velo, as Mitch pointed out earlier.
Second and third, Crawford went to second.
Anyway, that was ball one, and here comes in-play runs to Crawford. 96-9.
Bouncer over to third. Gonzalez
Awkward chopper. And throws it right in his back, and then the ball's going to roll away, and multiple runs are going to score. So another this is just unfortunate. He's had a series of unfortunate events in this inning. Leadoff hit by pitch. Called strike three that then became a walk. So he's down 1 out that he should have had, and now he's down 2 outs that he should have had after this play. And this is just, he didn't make a lane for him to throw home here. I'm not really sure what's going on here with I mean, yeah, you can see from the high home camera here that Crawford does a good job running inside the baseline, right? Watch Crawford. He's inside the baseline, creating a tough lane for the third baseman to throw home, and he ends up throwing it right off his back. I also think that if I'm Henry Davis here, if I'm Henry here, I got to move over here just a touch so I can create a better lane, and then that throw can get around the runner, and then I'll go ahead and make the tag. But him standing there there's just a straight line here, and there's nowhere for him to go. And then obviously he throws it right off his back. So a little bit of bad luck here for Paul, in my opinion, in this inning. But he started it off with the hit by pitch. All right, Trey Turner. Sweeper in, backed up. Again, no movement on that one. Super weird. And now he's going to throw another sweeper. which backs up, and Trey's going to clip him to left. So back-to-back sweepers that just don't sweep. And now it's 4 runs, just like that. So an unlucky inning, but then with a big swing, and that's what gets you. You know, traffic, you always say we want to put as much traffic on against these aces as possible. And really all of that, you know? And then on top of that, you see the break on his sweeper just super inconsistent. I mean, this is only negative 4.8 to the left and 8.8 vert. On the season, what's Paul getting on his sweeper on the season? On the season, he's getting 5.4 and 10.6. So any way you look at it, he's averaging between 10 and 11 inches of glove side movement. And this was only like -4. He threw one in here earlier that was -1. So he's having a little bit of a release issue. Maybe the ball's slipping out of the hand. Something of that, something like that. Anyway, just like that, it's 5-0. One bad play on defense, a hit by pitch, a bad challenge that then leads to a situation where you don't challenge, and then he gets clipped on 2 backup sweepers. So just a very unfortunate inning. All right, next up is Schwarber. Sinker fouled off.
Wow, this is incredible. Yep.
And then death ball, which is what he was trying to throw early, kind of hangs that one, gets away with it. Popped up to Gonzalez there. And now Harper. 98 here, so I mean, he's still got plenty of velocity. I tend to not just immediately look at it and say, oh, well, he's not throwing 100, and that's why he's not good. You know, it's more complicated than that. Seems to have no real feel or command for any of his breaking stuff, which is definitely a factor. And on top of that, the fastball just is not quite as dominant. Now, again, you watch him. He goes and looks at his hand as soon as he throws this pitch. See that? Look at that. So something's up with the hand, or at least that's the body language that Paul's giving us. So he might have a blister issue or something going on with the pads of his fingers. That would be something that seems pretty obvious to me. You know what I mean? So that's through 2 innings. He just had the inning from hell right there. Here's the 3rd inning. Brandon Marsh going to show bunt, take ball 1.
Marsh is 0 for 1. He flied out to the wall. This one is lifted in the air toward right field. Doesn't have enough height.
And then a home run on a death ball. I just talked about why I don't like this pitch for strikes. Doesn't have a lot of movement. It's medium speed. Every hitter in the big leagues crushes medium speed pitches. You design a death ball to get lefties to chase below the zone. So Paul has a low arm slot, right? Just like I did. When you have a low arm slot, it's hard to create downward break on the ball because you're not above the ball, right? You want to throw a pitch like this, a slider, aka a death ball, gyro ball with the nose pointed down. The reason that you want to throw it is because you want to get into this area. This is where all the chase is. You don't want to be in the strike zone with this pitch. I hate to tell you. Now, it's not bad 0-0, especially like up in the zone, back door, something like that to steal a strike before you show your bigger movement pitches. Like, that's okay. But right here on 1-0, he's trying to throw this pitch to get back into the zone. So this is just a bad decision and a fundamental, I think that the Pirates don't understand, or whoever's advising him doesn't understand the danger of throwing this pitch. So sure enough, home run there. Both home runs are on breaking balls. One's on a sweeper that didn't sweep. One's on a death ball that makes no sense to Marsh. Marsh clips him there for the home run. And it's 6-2. All right, Boehm, who led off the second with a hit by pitch, almost gets hit again there. And I definitely think he's having an issue with his grip. You know, spin rate's down enough to be suspicious. You know, 200 RPM. He keeps looking at his hand. We know how hot it's been. There could be a slight blister or something going on with the hand that's not allowing him to fully command the ball. So I'm not going to, like, jump off the ledge here. It's still Paul Skenes. Still got great stuff. But, yeah, it's the first time we've seen him consistently, I would say, at times this year looking mortal. And you can see it's really affecting him on the breaking balls. There's another one that's only -5 inches of sweep. Gets the pop-up, but that's not breaking the way he wants.
I'm an astronaut.
All right, JT, another sweeper there. Now, that one broke, at least. That one went -12. That one was okay, but he's also getting under it because he's lifting it a lot with vert. Then a 4-seam up's going to work. So a really good 3rd inning, good bounce-back 3rd inning. terms of results. And now fourth inning.
He walked and scored his first time.
Four seam in, fouled off. Big hack there. Change up coming off of that. The Rincones at bat where Henry Davis had challenged a pitch early and got it wrong, and then was afraid to challenge the strike 3 pitch, really hurt Paul in that tough second inning as well. The challenge game is like super important. You better be right early in the game. All right, fastball down, only 95 miles an hour. Definitely a little bit of a velo drop here. Again, it's a hot day. He's thrown a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if he went through a little bit of a drawback period, velocity-wise. Wouldn't surprise me. First pitch split, lasered to right by Crawford. Nice play out there by Esmeralyn Valdez. That was 104 on the first pitch splinker. Now, for my money, when this pitch is right, this is his best pitch, but this velo's way down on it too. 91.6. Didn't really have the bottom. 6.5 vertical break. Something's up with his fingers for sure, dude. He's just, something's up with his grip. Even on the split, he's not getting it where he needs to get. Usually he's in 0 territory, negative territory on this pitch. 6.5 extra inches of lift makes no sense to me. All right, next. Ball 1. Splitter coming again. Had good action, I thought, that time. Yeah, better action, but no, not a command. And then 2-0 sinker. Trey's all over that, smashes that through the hole. So also some poor fundamentals with strike throwing, and he just looks very uncomfortable to me. Like he's searching for it a little bit, which I've never seen before. One of the things about Skenes the first 2 years is he literally felt in control every game. And, you know, it was just like a situation where he was never going to beat himself. All right, back-to-back really good splinkers there to Schwarber. Here's the third one. So at times he's found it, but just not a lot of consistency here. Here's a pickoff, drop glove pickoff. That doesn't work. And then he's going to strike him out with a fastball. So this was a good sequence. A bunch of downward breaking pitches and then a fastball at the top. Albeit with only 12 inches of vert, but that plays from his slot. So a nice pitch there. Here's Harper. Change up ball.
Young lady that makes copies of that scorecard to make it a little larger.
Splinker down, good take. And now splitter, and Bryce is going to slash him out to left, I believe. Yeah. Left fielder coming on, can't make the play. More runs are going to score. Good swing by Harper. Should have been a single probably. Or an out. What do we think here? First of all, he's playing super deep. Just misjudges it. I don't think he realized that he needed to run a little harder or lay out for that. Anyway, he's playing pretty deep here. Let's see the jump off the bat. A little bit of a late jump and then doesn't get the extension down. So definitely let down by his defense a little bit. I mean, the play at the plate, the challenge, and then that play. All of that's unfortunate. And he's only going to make it one more batter, and it's Marsh. So he's going to get this guy out.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Swing and a miss.
7, he had not. He was 0-5.
You guys are cute out there.
Starts. 3 no decisions. 5-0 against him.
Wow,
that's pretty good. Swing and a miss.
1-2.
Impressive. That's very impressive. Skenes ready. Here's the 1-2. Way inside. 2-2.
That's probably. He just looks exhausted here.
The big 5-0.
Big 5-0 in America's 250th.
And then he does get a chase on the death ball slider there. So this is why you throw that pitch. I talked about it earlier. The whole point of this pitch is to get chased below the zone, which he gets here. But the mistake he made earlier was using it in zone. And I think that's what ultimately got him. All right, now let's go do a little bit more digging here. You know, going through the years a little bit. Obviously, it's he's pitched really well for most of the year. But, man, he's a human being. He's a human being. That's my ultimate immediate analysis, but I'll dig in a little bit more here. All right, we have so much here in the chat. Superhuman conditions are blister incubators. Agreed. How are you feeling about the Phillies right now? You guys are so cute, spraying that water at me.
So cold in here.
Is it?
Oh my God.
How are we feeling about the Phillies right now? Really good. I mean, the Phillies, I've always felt good about them. It's impressive how fast they've bounced back. I feel like I've heard about him working on new pitches all the time. Any chance I could have messed with his mechanics? No, I think like mechanically he's just drifting in one direction, you know, a little bit. But we're going to jump into that in a minute. Honestly, just surprised how Skenes went from such a hot start of the season to such a terrible run. Every pitcher is going to struggle. This is nothing new here. You know, pitchers struggle all the time. The season's long. You're going to have some periods of time where you just aren't as sharp, whether it be mentally, physically. You're going through a little bit of tired, dead arm syndrome. I mean, he has thrown a lot of baseball over the past few years, including WBC this year, just a lot. I know some will mention WBC as a reason for Skenes struggles. I'm not saying that's part of it, but I'm not saying that's it, but I'm saying he's been throwing a lot. He's already at 100 innings essentially this year. Last year, 190. Year before that, 133. Year before that, College World Series and beyond, plus minor leagues at 133 years. So that's actually a higher number. I mean, it's fine. I think he'll pitch the rest of the season healthy, but this is a major league workload. This is the difference. You know, you see guys in a controlled environment pumping 98. You know, in a bullpen or whatever. That's way different than grinding through 162, making your start every 5th day and facing teams that are studying you and all that sort of stuff, dealing with different weather conditions. Like, you're going to have some clunkers, and he's in that phase right now. Rob from Pitching Ninja said his break point of his hands earlier than he was pumping 98, 100. You think there's anything to that? That's a good question. I'm going to leave that comment up for a second while I just take a minute to look at some mechanical data here. So let's see if there's what the arm angle looks like over the past few years. So he was identical in 24 and 25, and now the arm angle is indeed a bit higher at 26 degrees. Now, what does that mean? It means that his fastball up in the zone will likely not play as flat. It'll play slightly less flat, so it'll be the effect of it at the top will be a little bit muted. Now, this could be him just hiking it up a little bit to throw those death ball pitches as we talked about. But, you know, if anything, it's just an indicator that the body has drifted in a slightly different direction upon release a little bit. As for his, let's see here, what we can tell from active spin. Well, active spin's identical on the four seam this year to last, so no red flag there. Change up the same. He doesn't really throw curveballs. Splitter, about the same. So I'm not seeing anything in terms of active spin. Everything looking the same. Even his slider active spin, identical. 37, 37. Nothing there. What about extension? All right, so he's at 6.8 this year. Last season, 6.7, 24, 6.4. So he's gained extension over the past 3 years. Don't know if that's good or bad, but sometimes when you overextend with your stride, you can take away some of your rotational efficiency. So that could be maybe a little bit of a reason for some downgrade in velocity. But you did get me thinking a little bit with that last comment about the hand coming out of the glove. All right, so it goes up, it comes down, and then he dumps it. I'd like to get a cleaner look from third base camera, to be honest with you, but this stupid third base coach has been in the way. All right, so his hand's out of the glove right around there. Let's see if it's way later in another year. You know what? Let's do Yankees Pirates from a couple years ago, because he was on fire the game he pitched against the Yankees a couple years ago. I know this is a while back, but he was on fire in this game. So let's take a look at it. What the hell? Oh, because this is a spring game. Ay, hold on. There we go. Yeah, this outing, he was insane against the Yankees. I think the hand's out a little bit earlier here. I think it's there. His break point of his hands earlier than when he was pumping 99-100. I have it the opposite way. I have him breaking his hands a little earlier when he was throwing 100. Even though this pitch is only 96. Not sure. I wouldn't dig in too hard on the mechanical side of this. I think honestly, I just think he's just out of whack right now a little bit. It's nothing crazy. I mean, you saw some of the stuff that happened in that game. I mean, he's only 2 starts removed from a decent little run of 6-2s with 1-10 and 2-8 in terms of walks and strikeouts. He had a good run going right before this little moment here. I want to rewind also to this Reds game, Reds-Pirates from a week ago, just to take a look at the hits. All right, so single, double. Here was the tough inning.
He did just that, and he also said he's really glad to have Spence in the dugout.
Change up down hit. Sinker to Gino. It's a good pitch.
Here comes another one.
And then Steer.
To Steer. And in the air to left center field. And a base hit ties the game.
It's not a bad pitch either.
When that happens, because you're obviously not getting hard contact.
That's just a poor location.
Valdez, it's going to be over his head. Dude, to McClain.
Then another walk.
Paul Skenes trying to hit the ship right here. And in the air the other way. Esmeralyn Valdez will make the catch. Runner third is tagging. Strong throw to the plate, but gets past. And now Ellie De La Cruz drives one to center.
All right, so
plenty deep.
Here's my opinion. My opinion is he's fine. This is maybe the new reality for Paul a little bit, in that he's not sitting 100 anymore. I think that's the biggest difference that everybody's going to point at, but I don't think that's the reason why he's struggling. I think it's just a lack of consistency a little bit with his breaking pitches. I think he's thrown a lot. I think it's hot. I think his command's a little off with his fastballs. I think that he's had some bad luck happen. I think overall he's still trending fine. I do think right now he's at his weakest moment he's been at in a couple years, but I don't expect it to last very long. His stuff's too good. His knowledge of how to pitch is too good. Ultimately, he's still throwing hard enough. He's still got good breaking ball stuff. But you know, that game right there, he had a really bad sweeper. He tried to go to more death balls, which is like his 5th or 6th pitch. Whenever a guy does that, you know, maybe he's overreacting. The Phillies had beaten him that first game, so maybe a little bit of an overreaction, throwing his 5th or 6th best pitch a lot. And also a little bit of bad defense behind him. So that's about it right there. That's about all I have to say about that. All right, let's see what else we got here in the chat. Couldn't agree more with that. He doesn't really know a whole lot, to be honest. But that's okay. Yeah, his arm angle went up a little bit, and I think that might have taken away a little bit of the effect of his 4-seam. So, anyway. Maybe Jacob Mizrowski had eaten before the game. It didn't work for him. Yeah, that's funny based off the convo we had the last time. Hi.
Wow.
You're what?
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro.
Take this off.
You're soaking wet.
Take this off.
Are you staying and playing, or what are you doing?
Take this off.
Let's get you. Can you just grab me his goggles?
Where are
It's in
they?
that bin.
No, I don't want to swim.
You're done?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see
You need a towel?
Come here, Wincy.
It's a
You're
washroom.
not.
You're not. You're just mommy's gonna dry you off and stuff. We're gonna have to put a towel right here.
Tell me.
Streaming is tough with everybody at home. I'll tell you that. All right, what else we got here in the chat? Yeah, it just looked to me like his handbrake was a little later, so he was further into his lean in that shot. But I'm not going to get too much of that. He's been out of whack all year. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, look at his numbers. They're pretty good. He's got a 1 whip. So, you know. And I also think, like, everybody expects you to just throw 100 forever, and they think it's a mechanical efficiency thing. He could be tired. We don't know about any of his strength metrics or range of motion metrics that they track. We don't know how he feels. We don't know any of that. We don't know how much sleep he's getting. So we can't immediately point at mechanics here. Even when he's doing real good, it was against bad teams. He was throwing tons of pitches. I don't totally agree with you, to be honest. Bad teams. Pitched well against the Rays. They're in first place. Pitched well against the Cardinals. Pitched well against the Blue Jays. Not really. Cubs. Pitched well against the Cubs. Astros have a great offense. Marlins are a good team. Dodgers. So it's a mixed bag. Every team in the big leagues is good. I just think he's in a tough moment. Everybody goes through it. He's a human. I think he'll be fine and he'll bounce back. So we'll go look at something else now. All right. Chase Burns, he has 2 pitches, 10-1. I know, it's crazy. It really is. Really crazy. Your opinion on Dustin May seems kind of up and down. Yeah, that's my opinion on him. Always has had good stuff, particularly when he gets his breaking balls really rolling, like that curveball he has with the high spin rate and sweeper. But a very inconsistent dude. I don't feel like he has quite a sense of his combinations yet, like how to read the at-bats. He just spams good stuff up there and thinks it's going to work out. That's kind of how I look at that. Yep, Walbert Urena should be next here. What do I mean when I say mechanics are overrated? I just think everybody wants to immediately look at mechanics as a be-all and end-all. Like, oh, if my mechanics were better, then, you know, I would have had better results. When there's 50 other things that matter. And you can look at Hall of Fame pitchers. A lot of them don't have perfect efficiency in their deliveries. A lot of them it features like weird, quirky stuff, deception. So to me, like the idea of like having a perfect mechanic, I don't think that matters that much. I think you are who you are, and your mechanics matter in the context of your own pitching, not like compared to everybody. So I think there's a lot of different reasons why I say that, but at the end of the day, like for me, when I struggled, it was almost never mechanics. It was usually, you know, a million other things, but it wasn't usually mechanics. Do I still got it? I could have it if I trained for it, but at the moment I do not have it. What do I think about Will Vest? I've always liked Will Vest. I know it's not his strongest year ever right now, but I like him a lot. I feel like pitchers focus a lot on perfecting mechanics and lose athleticism over time. I think you're totally right here. You know, you say armchair expert, but I think you're right here. When you think too much about mechanics, you become internally focused. You're not focused enough on down range, meaning what the catcher's looking like. You need to be locked in on the catcher, and then you can start making simpler adjustments. Okay, so you miss high to the arm side. All you have to do is hold on to the ball a little bit longer to get it here. Rather than thinking about, oh, it's my shoulder, it's my hip, it's my back, it's my this, it's my that. You cannot pitch like that during the game. Now, mechanics, of course they matter, but again, if you're focused on them in the game, it's a distraction, major distraction. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Come over to YouTube, throw me a sub. It's a little overwhelming in the chat right now because I opened up the TikTok chat, but don't be afraid to come on over and do that. Who's your favorite pitcher of all time? So the pitchers that I loved growing up, Jimmy Key, David Cone, Pedro Martinez, El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, Josh Beckett. Those are like the guys that inspired me when I was a kid. I agree with you, William Holt, here. Yeah, we should look at Roki today too. But I've been really holding out a long time, too long to watch this pitcher that we should check in on next. All right. His name is Walbert Urena. He's been pretty damn good for the Angels, and I haven't watched him pitch yet. So I want to learn about him, and then we'll get after Roki next probably. But here's Walbert Urena, 22 years old, rookie for the Angels. He's been a revelation. Huge ground ball pitcher, and you can see by his arsenal. Changeup and sinker are the two primaries. Those are these two pitches over here, the green and the orange dots. They have a lot of arm side run and drop to them. He also throws a four seam. So it's a three-way triangle moving to the right of him, and then a sweeper to the left. It's a hard sweeper that doesn't break a lot, but that could be effective with the velocity. And arm angle-wise, 43 degrees. So a little bit of a higher arm angle, which technically you're going to like versus a sinker. It's going to create a better VAA downhill approach. So that's what we're probably looking at here. It's also a little intriguing because he's only 6 foot tall. So there's a lot to take into account here. Too many walks, but clearly tough to hit. So his last start was yesterday versus the Mariners. 5 2/3, 1 hit. He did have 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. All right, let's look at the breakdown from this game. For Walbert Urena, 44 changeups. Holy cow, holy amount of changeups. 44, wow. 28 sinkers, 18 four-seamers, 17 sweepers. So pretty good distribution. They put a ton of lefties against him, which makes sense with his arm side run, type of style. 41% whiff on changeups, exceptional though. 67% whiff on sweeper, which kind of makes sense when you think everything's going one direction. They got something that flips the script on that. Only allowed 3 hard hit balls, 63% strikes. Overall zone rate is incredibly low. 36% zone rate means you need people to chase. So let's check it out. This was Mariners Angels yesterday. Walbert Urena. This is my first time watching him. I know this isn't his best start, but let's watch him get his outs. We'll speed watch this a little bit. All right, 96 sinker is their first out of the game to J.P. Crawford. Metric on that, 8 inches of vert, 14.5 of horizontal at 96. We mentioned he's a little bit high on a slot despite not being very tall. He should still create somewhat of a downhill angle. So anyway, ground out there. Now here comes a walk. This has been his #1 issue is just walks. Misses up in with a 98 mile-an-hour sinker to Julio. So 1 on there, and then he's going to give up a hit to Dom Canzone on the changeup, which is his pitch. Or not a hit, but a poor defensive play. Wow, another runner hit with a ball. Is this another good base running job? Yeah, Julio certainly is proud of himself. Yep, running inside to create a better angle, and then that creates the issue. Check it out from the high home camera here. Watch our runner Julio right here. Ground ball. Julio is all the way in the dirt. Watch him cut inside the line. Beautiful. He cuts down on the angle that Shanuel has to throw to Neto here. See, Julio's all the way in on the grass here. Throws coming here. He effectively blocks it. That is really good base running, and he's still in the line. So great job by Julio here. Saves an out and gets them to first and third, 1 out. And that is going to bring up Randy Arozarena, who he's going to go ahead and hit with an 0-2 sinker at 98. So bases loaded, 1 out. And here's Josh Naylor. Let's just watch all the pitches for a minute here. Change up away ball. And then sinker at 97. Little chopper, Neto. Double play, inning over, gets through it. Wow, so a very fortunate double play. However, that is a huge part of Walbert Urena's game, is major amounts of ground balls. He can get double plays at will. If he can hold runners on, he could probably deal with a little bit of walk. All right, nice pitch there. Second inning, Cal Raleigh strikes him out with a really good changeup. 1.8 vert and 17 inches of run. This ball disappears. He's got a really good changeup, I can tell you already. And I think he might be kicking it with the lack of spin. All right, another strikeout here. This is that sweeper that goes the other direction.
then you got that.
Ooh, that was nasty. I want to watch this whole at bat and kind of figure out what the plan is here. It's a changeup away.
2 years old, his first big league season.
Changeup swing and miss. Changeup's nasty.
Pretty much right down
Now to the sinker. So he throws you 3 pitches that are going to the right, and then this pitch is going to go to the left. And that's why it works so effectively. That's a nasty combo. I like the fact that he throws his sweeper hard, because even though it doesn't have a lot of break, it's kind of late. Changeup. All right, changeup for the strikeout here of Cole Young. Yeah, that's nasty. He gets on top of that thing, and that thing comes out of the hand and runs. And you see where he is on the rubber, being that he's on the first base side of the rubber here. That gives him a lot of plate to work with. So he can start stuff in this lane and then run it off the plate. And that's kind of what happens here. He starts it off that middle lane. And look at that thing move. That's plus plus right there. That's plus plus changeup stuff. All right, 3rd inning.
Incredible success in the Texas League this year.
Changeup down to Colt Emerson. Puts a decent swing on that one because he left it middle in. Floats it out to center, 1 out. Back to Crawford. Changeup, that was a good swing. This is going to be a nice play out there by Josh Lowe. Good swing there by JP. Man, another hit by pitch. So he had 4 walks and 2 hit by pitches in this game. Robles off the back elbow. Give him a swellbo. That's going to hurt. Ooh, let's watch his pickoff attempt. Holding runners is going to be huge for him because he has too many walks. That was a slow move. He's going to need a better move than that, but I don't know if that was his A move. Because he can get so many ground balls, you have to keep runners anchored at first to get double plays. If they steal second, it's useless, which was kind of my problem. This is a really good changeup again. His changeup is plus plus. All right, 4th inning. 3-2 changeup to Randy. Little floater out to right. Joe Adell is there. Sinker here to Josh Naylor. Naylor's had some feeble swings on sinkers off of Urena so far. 2 outs there, and then a strikeout on a changeup to Raleigh. So punches Raleigh twice with changeups, first 2 at-bats, and they're both filthy. That's perfection right there. That's nasty. I want to watch this whole at-bat versus Cal Raleigh. What's the game plan here? Changeup middle, swinging strike. That should tell you a lot. Sinker away ball. Changeup again.
And he's just... And I'm like, man, him and I are very different, apparently.
4-seam up.
Up and in on Cal.
Okay, that was a good pitch. That's how he has to use that 4-seam because everything is coming with so much drop. Got to keep him honest with something with lift. Then to the sweeper and then back to the changeup. So his changeup and his sweeper are going to tunnel perfectly off of each other down the middle. Yeah. If he starts the ball right here in this middle lane, the sweeper is going to end up in here. And the changeup, I should say, is going to end up over here. So he's got a 2-way tunnel going from sweeper to changeup, and really sinker to sweeper as well. He just has to aim right down the middle here, and he splits each pitch off to the side.
Kind of becoming tired, and the Mariners continue year.
So it's a pretty well thought out little triangle of movement there. All right, next inning, Raley up the middle. 1 out there. Lefty approach is only to swing if it looks like it's going to hit you. Yeah, if I'm a lefty hitter, I'm looking for something to start on the inner lane to me to fire at. I'm going to eliminate the sweeper. It's not a pitch I want to hit unless I'm going to hunt it first pitch. And then so if you're a lefty here, first pitch of the at-bat, if you want to sit on a sweeper because you think you can drive it, you're looking for it to start out here. If it starts out here, it's going to end in the middle and you're going to whack it. Other than that, you're looking for every pitch to start right here. Because if it starts here, it's all going to trend into the hitting area because it's sinkers and changeups. And if it's a 4-seam, he doesn't use it that much. So you might get blown up, but he throws enough sinkers and changeups for you as a lefty to look for something to start off in that lane and trend into the middle and then smash it. That would be my advice on that. Anyway, good pitch there, popped up.
But still spry, guys.
Changeup away. Ground ball to third, throws him out. Okay, all of a sudden the chat's being weird. Oh no, it seems fine. Is this tech ever going to be available to the public? Not up to me. I think they could make a lot of money off of it. But I'm pretty damn glad to use it because it's really fun. All right, change up, and this time it's actually identical to the one before that Crawford hit, but this time there's a little miscommunication in the outfield and he gets a double. And he looks like he needed that one. So change up doesn't get low enough, double. Now he's gonna punch out Wilson, Weston Wilson with the change up. This is really nice right on right.
3-2.
Man, he's got a good change up. All right, here's a walk. We mentioned he had a big walk and hit by pitch issue in this game. Little walk there to Dom Canzone, didn't want to give in. Now here's Randy Arozarena, another walk on 3-2, so he's going to get to his second bases loaded situation of the day. And that brings us up to Naylor. So Naylor's had 2 weak groundouts on sinkers. Let's watch this whole at bat. Change up, strike, taken all the way. Change up again. Swing and miss. I bet he triples up. No, he goes sinker now. Change up, sinker. Naylor looks about as lost at the plate as you can look. So there's a strikeout. And then we have a 9-pitch at bat here from Raleigh. Change up, strike. 4-seam up in would be the choice here for me. That's the target. Perfect pitch. See, you got to look at it out of that lane. That's why he gets that swing. That was a good combo. You should throw that again. He's going to throw it again. Good pitch. I would throw it again. Oops, sweeper. Good take, didn't start in the same lane. Now changeup, started down the middle, run it away. Just didn't quite get far enough away, did get the swing action he wanted. Now to the 4-seam up. Good take. Changeup, got to start it middle. Overcooks it, 3-2.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, the 3-2. Another foul ball.
Good pitch, good fight, and then he's going to walk in the run, and then they're going to pull him out of the game. So, pretty good at bat by Cal Raleigh here. Ultimately forced in the only run against Walbert in this game. But you can see his game. It's a super ground ball heavy game. You can see it in the metrics from this dude right here. You know, 55% ground ball rate. That's 93rd percentile. Obviously, there's too many walks, some hit by pitches mixed in there. But overall, it looks like he's going to be pretty effective. He's going to be able to be pretty efficient. He's going to be able to get double plays. How is he at holding runners? Because that's going to be massive for him. Well, so far, he's in the positive on that. Only 3 steals, 1 caught stealing. They've only run on less than 1% of their opportunities, so that means he's doing something right there. That's going to be big for him, and ultimately, I'm pretty fired up about him. I don't think he needs to add too much more. It's just more about understanding his lanes and commanding the ball a little bit better, but intriguing rookie for sure for the Angels, definitely. His changeup reminds me of the Lagrange changeup. It's a pretty good pitch. It's a pretty good pitch, I have to say. Pretty good pitch. And, of course, the Angels' offense couldn't score at all. Yeah, and they are playing the Mariners' pitching staff, which is pretty filthy, as we all know as well. All right, what else we got here in the chat? Huge uptick in opposite-handed sinkers this year, I feel like. Not sure I'm a fan in theory, but I guess if it works. So they're throwing at bat paths now. You know, generally speaking now, you can look at bat path metrics, and if a guy is really, like he dumps his barrel in a scoop, you don't want to throw him sinkers from an opposite-handed side because that's right into the path. But if he's flat, like I think Juan Soto, Junior Caminero, Tatis, Vlad Jr., plenty of other guys, if he's flat, then yeah, the sinker down is going to get underneath that barrel and you're going to chop a lot of balls. So they're doing that. That's number one. They're throwing at swing paths now, just not strictly righty-lefty. And then number 2 is like if you throw 4-seamers in the at-bat, you know, and now a guy has to make a swing adjustment to go try and climb to get that. Like a scoopy guy now climbs to go get that and gets a little flatter. Now he's open for the sinker. So those are the 2 reasons why they're effective. And I always thought it was crazy to eliminate an entire pitch to an entire side of hitter just because metrically it doesn't, you know, it's not optimal. There's still going to be optimal moments and pockets to deliver that pitch. Obviously, you don't want to spam it, but there's always going to be opportunities there. So wanted to point that out. Who's better, Soriano or Urena? Still Soriano, but we'll see. We'll see moving forward. Not sure if you saw AO, but Lagrange is getting a shoulder MRI today. Don't like that. That's not great for the Yankees. They're obviously not in a great spot at this moment, but he looked like he was going to be somebody to really help. We finally watched him, blatant respect. We finally watched him. All right, a couple more things here in the chat, and then we'll go take a look at Roki's tough outing and his last couple outings. How valuable do you think Freddie Peralta will be at the deadline? I would say somewhat just because of his price tag and his pedigree, but there's no doubt that there's going to be some teams balking at him for a couple of reasons. One, it's a rental, so you only get him for 2 months, and he's probably not. And then number two, his ceiling is not as high as an ace right now. So teams that are looking to buy him as a final piece to a World Series roster, he might not be the choice, and therefore they're not willing to be as desperate. So I would say mid-level value for where he's at. Mets will get something for him, but not what they would hope to have gotten. You know, when they thought about it this year, they probably said, okay, we sign him. He's making $8 million. He's either our ace or number 2 behind McClain or Holmes or whoever, and we're rolling into the postseason. Or if we stink, we can flip him for a nice prospect at the deadline, but he hasn't been as good. So now it's kind of not really what they were hoping for. We've seen Soriano pitch at an elite level for a bit, even if he can get back to it. Yeah, I still believe in Soriano for sure. How do they balance throwing to a batter's weakness versus throwing to their own strength? You always start from a point of your own strength, but the idea as a pitcher ultimately is to create everything in your game to become somewhat of a strength, so then you can parlay and overlay your strengths over the batter's weaknesses. Also, sometimes a hitter just straight up beats your strength, and then you have to pivot. But initially speaking, you always want to pitch to your strength. All right. So Roki Sasaki is probably the next guy to take a look at. I'm curious about a few things with Roki because he was rolling not that long ago. And now he's run into trouble again his last, I think it's 4 starts. But really bad the last 2. Yeah, so at this moment, we were like, holy cow, they fixed him. June 5th, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts versus the Angels. Goes against the White Sox, gets hit pretty hard in Chicago. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 7 runs. Comes back his next outing versus the Orioles, 5 2/3, 3 runs, but 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. To me, that was a decent outing. And then Padres is where it started to fall apart. 5 walks. We watched that. Just didn't look like he had command. And that leads us to yesterday, also versus the Padres. So back-to-back starts versus the Padres. 3 innings, 7 hits, 6 earnings, 3 home runs allowed, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Let me go into my recency folder here and look up Roki for a second. Roki Sasaki, let's just go last 5 games so I can take a quick look real quick at what we got. Yeah, because 5 games ago he was on point, and then the last 4 he has really dialed back. So is there any obvious usage changes? No. He has kicked up his 4-seam usage quite a bit relative to that one great start. 4-seam shape. Now this has been important because this has jumped all over the map. IVB. He was at 17.1 there, dropped off to 15.8, got it back up, and then yesterday, so not a huge difference in that, although velo, he's about a mile an hour down, I would say, over his just the last 2 starts, but that's still not significant. Still 98-ish. VAA, he actually had a better VAA the last 2 days. That's fine. Splitter metrics look about the same. Let's see if there's anything mechanically. Not really, although the release side looks a little bit different, maybe. I don't know. All right, so this was what, yesterday? All right, 35 heaters, 31 splits, 19 sliders, and 3 fork balls. the whiff completely went away on everything. And for a while, he was crushing. His slider had been really dialed in. His splitter had been really dialed in. And he was throwing with a lot of conviction. So that's going to be the main thing I'm going to look at today. Because his body, he's so hard. He does, I don't know if it's a bad job, whatever, but you can really see how he's feeling out there when you watch him. All right, Padres, Dodgers. All right, Roki, 88 pitches. We might as well watch them all. So they're talking about a potential tipping situation here. All right, first pitch fastball of the game to Tatis. Good swing. Nothing to break down here. Try to get ahead with the first pitch heater, and he does, basically. It's actually a good pitch. Just a better swing by Tatis. 115 off the bat, 116 off the bat, so whatever. Move on. Cronenworth, first pitch slider. Wild pitch. Okay. Second pitch slider. Now we got a man on third. That was a good one.
He kept playing for a few weeks and then finally said, I'm just not seeing the ball.
Fastball up. We'll get to the tipping stuff. First, I'm going to watch the outing a little bit, unless it's obvious, and then I'll take a look at his glove placement on different pitches. 99 up, and then splitter off of that. Ground ball back to him, knocks it down. He's going to get an out here, and the run's not going to score. So pretty good pitching there. Here is Machado. First pitch split, gets the chase, good pitch, and then four seam's going to get hit. See the location. Middle. And that's out of here. So just a poor location, really. Manny's been trending a little better as of late. I still don't think he's pitched poorly yet in the first inning. Maybe he should have stuck with the split after he got the chase down. The fastball targets up in, and he misses middle. So poor location on this fastball. But even with this home run, I could live with it. You could easily turn the page from this. So let's see how he does or doesn't. All right, here's Sheets. Slider, swing and miss on Chase.
2-0 San Diego. Gavin Sheets.
Splitter away. Splitter down, popped up.
Left side of the diamond, Rushing.
Can of corn for Muncy there. Next up, Ty France. Slider down. Four seam up 2-0. 99-mile-an-hour heater here. Ripped foul. Slider off of that. That was a little curious there because he was a little more on time for that than I would have thought. Splitter down, great take. That's a little suspicious too. Splitter again. Fouls it off. 100 miles an hour here. Middle, fouled off. Splitter off of that, should be a good pitch. Good hang by France, and then he's going to punch him out with 98. So first inning was a little weird. First pitch hit, poor location to Manny. I don't think he was horrible, though. All right, second inning. Merrill. 98 away ball. Slider coming here. And that's going to be gone. It's really a good swing to go backside on a backdoor slider. Roki looks distraught at the result. I don't think this is a horrible pitch. You know, you fall behind 1-0, you're trying to backdoor slider. You kind of do. I think this is just more of a good swing by Merrill. So the tipping alarms are going off a little bit because we've had some really comfortable swings. But if anything, this is just a great swing by Jackson Merrill. And the ball flies at Dodger Stadium for some reason these days. I mean, crazy over the years. All right, splitter here to Xander. Nowhere near that. Splitter again. Down. That should have been a strike. No challenge by Rushing. So it's 2-1, should have been 1-2. Merrill has shown some signs of life after such a disappointing season. Do you think he gets back to form? I've always been big on Jackson Merrill. I think he's a great player, great all-around player. I mean, he just showcased oppo power, which is not something everybody has. Plus, he's athletic enough to be a great defender. This is just a fastball and a fastball count that Xander gets through. Kind of underscoring what I've been saying about Roki from the beginning. His fastball is not good enough to throw it when they know it's coming. generally speaking, even though he throws hard. Doesn't have enough of a crazy outlier of shape, even though it's improved this season. But I still believe in Merrill. I think the fact that he's super scoopy with his swing gives guys a lot of pretty obvious way to pitch him up in and chases below the zone at times, but I still believe in him a lot, and I think he'll figure it out considering how young he is.
To react and trust, belief, all of those things.
I feel like if you do a sinker, it might allow him to get some quicker outs. Totally agree. I think that'll be the next adjustment you'll see coming from him as we move forward. That'll be the next pitch that'll be added, in my opinion, is a sinker that he can throw right on right and jam some guys and get balls on the ground. All right, that ball was capped. Here's Samad Taylor. First pitch, fork ball with the infield in. That was effective. Gets it over to Mookie. No run scores there. And now we're back to the top of the order in Tatis. Slider down. Just has no choice because the split doesn't work well without it. Oh, his fastball. Yeah, I see. I mean, he's got to throw his fastball. I'm just saying that I don't think it's a great pitch to throw. He's always had a big problem getting back into the count when he's behind and throwing a lot of predictable fastballs, which we saw a few times in this game so far, but then he just loses the zone to Tatis. There's the first walk. Still got one pitch away from getting out of this inning. Splitter to Cronenworth. Splitter again. That's a good pitch. So back-to-back good splits. Now four-seam. They'll probably try to elevate here. That was a good pitch. And his follow-through getting a little more aggressive. Splitter down. Completely misses there. And then splitter again. This is probably going to be poorly located. Yeah, it doesn't get it down. Another one, though, that Cronenworth might have knew was coming. So we're going to have to dig into the tipping here. Great swing by Cronenworth. Only 100, but in Dodger Stadium, those are no doubters. He was one pitch of getting away from this inning. Just doesn't get it to a good location. Needs this ball out of the zone. Doesn't get it out of the zone. There are some suspicious swings, though.
And now the first of the home run hitters in Machado. And you're not surprised when Machado
Slider away.
But a quarter of the hits
23.9% of hits allowed have been a home run. Did you see that stat they just put up there? Second worst in NL. So essentially he's getting, when he's giving it up, it's home runs. All right, here's another walk to Machado. Now that we've seen 6 runs score, I'm going to go ahead and move through his outing quicker, and then I'll look for the tipping. So that's a walk. Then here's another hit to Sheets on a split. Kind of middle split there. That's going to be a double. Then he's going to get Ty France out here with a split. See, that didn't look like he knew it was coming. He was off balance there.
And that'll put an end to this lead off the Padres baseball have never made it.
Third inning, strikeout of Merrill on the four-seam. See, Merrill has this uphill. This is what I was talking about. We're just talking about Merrill. Look at the shoulder angle, even on a high pitch. So uphill, and that's what makes him a little easy to pitch to at times. Once he can become a little better at covering the top, he'll be back to being a potential superstar, but that's his one problem. In my estimation, at least. Anyway, strikeout there. Another strikeout here. So a good start to his third inning. Now a hit to Fermin on a slider. Just that's a poor location. He didn't know that was coming. He was out on 1 foot, but a poor location allows him to wrap that down the line for a double. Then another long at bat here with Taylor. Splitter down, grounded to second. Tommy Edman, nice play. All right, and that's it. They take him out after 3 innings. All right, let me see what you're talking about in the Discord here. This is Yamamoto and Shohei talking about Sasaki. So the glove angle, that's what they're seeing. And this was against the Cubs a while back. All right, let's see if that popped up in this start. Let's go back to the first inning, and we're just going to look at glove positioning on different pitches. So here's a fastball. Now let's find a slide. Oh, wow. As obvious as, I mean, and now there is a man on second here. So this maybe doesn't make sense yet. All right, now we got a man on third, so it's a little more helpful. All right, there's fastball man on third. Split man on third looks the same. Fastball and slider look this. Fastball and split look about the same there. All right, here's with nobody on again. Slider definitely facing us pretty good. Splitter, that looks about the same to me. This is a split. Slider. Four seam. It looks like his glove placement's a little inconsistent in general. We're going to look at third base side too. Let me just go ahead and pop up these last three photos. All right, so we got four-seamer, slider, splitter, maybe a touch higher. No. All right, I don't think you're seeing a whole lot with nobody on there. Let's look at him from the side view on these pitches. All right, so this is slider. This is fastball. This is splitter. Splitter is definitely turned more here. No doubt about that. All right, so here's slider. Fastball looks the same. I got split looking a little bit differently. Yeah, like how much can you see the swoosh is probably the question, right? Decent there. You can see it a little more here, maybe. This one's even more. The height's definitely about the same. You see his ear is right above the glove. It's pretty small. It's pretty small, but it might be there. There could be something with the glove. I think that's reasonable to talk about a little bit. Uncle Ted says it's his foot. I don't see anything with his foot. It's tough. It's close. Some of the swings were definitely suspicious. Yeah, I don't see a difference with the foot. You want to see with runners on? Particularly a runner on second, it looks like he tries to really, really hide the ball. All right, here's runner on second. This is a slider. And here's a fastball. And then here's a split. All right, so this is all runner on second, the last three. Splitter. Four seam. Slider. I don't see anything, guys. Maybe a touch, but that could just be him looking and then the glove's rotating a little bit. Like here, you can't really see inside the thumb, but over here you can. Over here you cannot. So I don't know, guys. It'd have to be something you'd have to be able to see from the box, but maybe a slight difference in the glove turn. But I'm not seeing anything super blatant and obvious. It's tough to say, man, because you have to be able to see it from the straight on camera, and we don't have that camera. Wish we had the ump cam for this one time. So on the research tool, you can get Roki from center field. Let me pull up my research tool here for a second. I don't want you guys to see my password here, but hold on. All right, I'm in now. Let's just see what I mean. We're really digging hard here, but I don't think I see much. All right, let's look at like this whole Cronenworth at bat from this angle. This is pitch 2, which is a fastball. And then here's a split, which he homers on later. And then here's the homer. All right. All right, last 4 pitches are from this angle. The first 2 are not splits. The last one's a split. I see nothing. I literally see nothing, so I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't know if they can see it or not, but his results have definitely backed up. I think he didn't really command the zone the best way in terms of getting in the best counts. And again, his fastball's not that special if he's not going to locate it or be sitting 99. So he's running into a little bit of his old problems, and then I also think he just struggles a little bit with the mental side of the game to keep going and to keep competing a little bit when he's disappointed. But that happens to a lot of pitchers. So it's tough. I think a lot of Roki's struggles are bad pitch locations and getting behind in counts, causing walks or favorable fastballs. I agree with that. It's such a small detail I don't think you could see from the box. Maybe you would. They have a better view than even what we've seen, and if they have something, it might be subtle, but I just didn't see enough. Now, there was some inconsistencies with how he was turning the glove, but I didn't see anything consistent from one pitch type to the next there. So, I don't know. All right. What time is it? 11:35. Okay, now in this game, if we want to watch something positive, let's check out the villain, Mr. Dalton Rushing. He had a great game last night. He had been in a moment, I believe, where he was slumping a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. He got an 843 OPS with 10 home runs in his first 181 plate appearances this year. This guy's been banging. 343 on base, 500 slug. Does chase a little bit more than average. What are Dalton's game logs? Yeah, he hadn't really gone off in a while. I've been getting some hits, though. 1 for 5, 2 for 5, 1 for 5. Before that, it was a little sporadic and since early May. But he had a great game yesterday. 4 for 4, home run, and a walk. So let's check out Rushing's at-bats in this baseball game from yesterday, as they did make a sweet comeback. Tucker went 4 for 4. Rushing went 4 for 4. So, all right, here we go. Dalton Rushing versus Randy Vasquez yesterday.
One gone. Here's Rushing.
Four-seam in ball. That was a strike. Another four-seam coming here.
Huge offensive win for the Dodgers.
How do you improve that mental side?
At the top, all clicking together. Otani and Freeman have been going for.
It's easier. There's no one thing. It's just definitely experience, pitching more, failing, succeeding, and getting better at dealing with the feeling of being disappointed. All right, so it just showed up again. Another medium speed pitch in zone towards the bottom that a hitter smashes for a home run. 104.5 at 20. See, I mean, he's got elite, levels of thump in his bat. And he's a very short, compact, strong dude, Dalton Rushing. So I think he's a good hitter. I think he's a really good hitter for a backup catcher, and could be a starter, obviously, moving forward at some point for somebody. Will Smith's obviously long-term. We'll see how much playing time Rushing gets, but you see him at the plate. He's compact. It's a very short swing, and he's packing a lot of meat onto that body. Like this is a strong, thick dude. That's an impressive line drive shot for a home run in the first at-bat on another pretty poor pitch here by Vasquez. A little breaking ball middle down. Ball smacked. All right, second at-bat. Vasquez got lit up as well in this game. Him and Roki both struggled. So second at-bat's left on left, Wandy Peralta. Tough matchup. You're going to get a lot of sinkers on your thumbs here. Sinker, so he's immediately 0-2, and then he's going to get a hit on a four-seam. Poor location by Peralta. Good job to just drop the hit on that by Rushing. Showing again how quick he is to the ball, and also elite exit velo, 108 on that. So that was just a bad pitch that he takes advantage of. Third at bat, another left on left. This time it's Yuki Matsui. Split down. Four-seam down ball. I think he's going to get a walk here. After the game, they said Vasquez passed out while being taken to get his ankle x-ray. Was taken to emergency room. That sucks. All right, so Yuki Matsui, he's able to draw a walk. And, oh, no, 3-1. He's going to put another ball in play. So gets himself in a good count. Another pitch down, so clearly you can't throw Rushing down. That's where he likes it. That's where the swing's grooved. 108.7. So in this game, he's gone 104-point-something mile-an-hour home run, 108-mile-an-hour single, 109-mile-an-hour double. What's the common denominator? All pitches low in the zone.
On a 3-1 pitch, Rushing hits it.
Good swing, though.
To the right field corner.
Tatis, the platinum glover, can't make that play.
Rushing's 3 for 3.
And we're on to our next at-bat. Now he's getting German Marquez in relief. Knuckle curve down.
A whole lot of movement.
Fastball fouled off underneath that four-seam there. Here's another fastball. That's up. Foul ball coming here on the knuckle curve. Good pitch to hit, but didn't get quite in the middle. And then he's going to get another hit on a fastball. Or it's going to be a sac fly. Almost drives it out. Man, ball really flies at Dodger Stadium. 99 almost gets out in center. Sac fly. Once again, though, this pitch is just not high enough by German. Where does Rushing like it? Medium height to low height, no doubt about it. Good swing at that.
Driven in the air, deep center field. Merrill on the run to the track. He gets there.
And he's going to get another hit here. Marquez, fastball, location. This one's at least a little bit middle up, but another hard hit. 105. Fourth hit of the day, drives in Tucker. How hard did he even hit that out? 99, we said? So in this game, he put 5 balls in play, all over 99. 4 of the 5 are above 104.5. And I think this kid can hit. I think this is a good player, man. He's done absolute damage for the Dodgers this year. And only, what would we say, only 100-something plate appearances? 181 plate appearances. He's already contributed an 843 OPS with 10 home runs. He scored 27 runs. He's been really good. Let's check out his bat tracking. The villain. So it's an above average amount of bat speed with a slightly longer than average swing length, but nothing out of control. Attack angle, he's looking to pull and lift, and that's why you can't throw him middle in down. That's going to play right into his game, so it all makes sense. Tends to be very on time. Well, very good at centering fastballs. Definitely tends to be late on them, though. So it's that medium speed pitch that you got to watch out for, I think. He lines up on breaking balls pretty good. Anyway, that's a little Dalton Rushing talk. That's crazy. Maybe tipping is just another word for sucking. Well, you know, it's always on the table these days because there's so much video studying going on by opposing teams. So occasionally you are caught tipping. I didn't see anything crazy there. I know that maybe he had something going on with the Cubs. I saw a little bit of Roki moving the glove around, but nothing consistent. I just think overall he didn't pitch that good. And the Padres did some damage on some mistakes there. You know, Machado's swing, fastball middle down, damage on that. Tatis ambushing him first pitch of the game. Cronenworth, the split didn't get low enough. He had two big hits like that where the split just didn't get below the zone. So it could be an execution thing more than anything. But, you know, I think sinker needs to be a move for Roki pretty soon because he's a little bit of a sitting duck when the only hard thing he has is that fastball that's not that special metrically, and people seem to not be overwhelmed by it unless it's like truly 99 or 100. So, anyway. Should we watch Tucker too while we're here? He had a 4-for-4 game. Let's watch Tuck, and then I think I'm going to wrap up the stream pretty soon. All right, Kyle Tucker, first year with the Dodgers as well. Hasn't been the smoothest sail so far, but after a big day yesterday, he's up to a mid-700, 743 OPS, hitting 250, 352, 391. So he's got some level of on base, but just not enough hits, only 7 home runs, not what you would expect from Mr. Tucker. All of his StatCast stuff is mid, just doing good on chase and getting his walks, but not really impacting the ball like you would expect. Bat speed's actually below at league average, which is not something I expected to see. So definitely a little bit of a decline on bat speed. Swing length has remained about the same. Bat path, he's gotten more shoulder tilt and a little bit less. I mean, it looks about similar. Nothing too different there. Anyway, he had a good day yesterday. In terms of his game logs, how has he been trending as of late? So he finished up June with a pretty poor June, 679 OPS. So he had not been playing great, although it looks like midway through the last Padres series, started to get some hits. 3 for 5, 1 for 4, 2 for 4, then has an 0 for 4 with a walk. Another 0 for 4, and then this game 4 for 4. So let's watch his at-bats in this game where he goes 4 for 4. Kyle Tucker, 4 for 4. Vasquez.
Last of the second inning, long way to go. Kyle Tucker leads
fastball down. Fastball middle, hammers that, as he should, so nothing special there, but a good swing there. Next at-bat, same pitcher. Four-seam up, should have been a strike, didn't get called, so benefits from that. Now we have a sinker. Awkward swing there, and then another four-seamer, so for some reason they're attacking him the same way. Pulls the hands in there, that's a good swing for an up and in pitch. Stayed real tight, almost like a tennis backhand here. Stay tight on that. What was that stat that they flashed up here at the beginning? I saw some stat here. Chase rate this season through 625, 25% since 11.3. So that's the biggest adjustment the biggest change we've seen over the last week or so is he's not chasing as much. Anyway, good swing there. So hits on fastballs the first two times. Now left on left versus Peralta. Sinker in, chopped foul, and then another four-seam. So he's going to get three hits in a row in this game on four-seamers, all pulled to the right. So far, all he's really shown me is that he's pretty good at hitting four-seamers middle in right now. Next at-bat versus Marquez. 93 down strike.
For the last 2
Change
days,
up.
that is get Tucker out.
Check swing 0-2, and he's going to get a hit on a knuckle curve. Just a hanger in the middle, though, by Marquez. So a very poor location. Benefited from hammering some poor locations in this game. Now, but he has been on base 8 straight times, which is pretty good. And then here we go. Last at bat versus Marquez. Knuckle curve away. Knuckle curve down. I think we'll look really quick at the Reds-Brewers game last, and then I'll say goodbye after this, because that was Chase Burns and The Miz. We'll watch The Miz get hit a little bit and see what we see. And then Chase Burns, watch him strike some guys out, and then we'll say goodbye for today. We did a lot of Dodger looking today. All right, so 4 for 4 with a walk. Didn't learn a whole lot, but it does seem like lately he's doing a better job of controlling the zone. So that's the biggest thing there with Tucker. Mookie's also been trending well. So Dodgers are really rolling in a lot of ways right now. But they can get Tuck up to like an 800 OPS. I mean, watch out for this team. They're going to be really hard to beat. And that's the Dodger thing too, is always trend well heading into the postseason. You don't need to be the best maybe right now, but they have an 11-game cushion, so it doesn't even matter. All right, to the game that was interesting yesterday, Reds and Brewers. The Young Bucks showdown. Chase Burns, he ends up going 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a homer. And then The Miz, 5 innings, 5 runs, 1 earned run, no walks, 10 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed. That was the biggest thing. So I'm not going to watch all of this, but let's look at the player breakdowns. Burns threw no changeups, all fastball slider. Got a ton of whiff on his slider. He was only able to induce 9 swings, which is crazy, but they did miss 7 of them when they swung. So that's consistent with what we've seen all year. Surprised he didn't throw any changeups, but he did enough to get the win. As for The Miz, 51 heaters. He averaged 101.4. So nothing really different than what he's been doing the last few games. He topped out at 103.8, plenty. 16 curves, which was a great pitch for him. 7 whiffs. He actually had great whiff in this game, 47 whiffs. So I think The Miz threw great in this game. He just got clipped twice. I want to watch the 2 at-bats where he got clipped, and then I want to watch Chase Burns strike a few guys out. I'll just watch them both strike guys out, and then we'll move on to another thing, another day. So what teams are we looking at? We're looking at Cincinnati Reds and Milwaukee Brewers. Young Buck showdown. All right, so here's The Miz. We'll watch his strikeouts, and then we'll watch all the at-bats where he gets clipped. Yeah, so Ellie De La Cruz, 3 fastballs, see you later, and then Sal Stewart's going to homer. So let's watch Sal Stewart's home run at-bat. 103.7 away, strike 1. That is absolute gas. Here's 103.8. Pulls that one, that's a ball. 103.3, another fastball. So 3 fastballs in a row to start it off. 4 fastballs in a row.
1 and 2, and Stewart.
Amazing to foul that off. Miz does not get pitches above the zone touched. I bet his whiff rate up there is like 70% or something. But Sal Stewart, super quick to the ball right here. Stays alive, and then he's going to clip him for a home run on just a ridiculously fast swing.
And a drive into right center field.
Stays connected, takes him out into his own bullpen. And this guy's a special hitter. 102.7 at 27. I mean, what can I say? This is a special swing. Man, look how quick he was. I mean, I know he's in the shadow here, so you can't see him that good, but watch how quick he is here. From the moment he sends the impulse in, he is just really fast. Stays tight, smashes it out to right. If you're The Miz, it's easy to kind of move beyond this, but this is just a special swing by Sal Stewart. So that's the first home run. And then he comes right back and he punches some more guys out. 102 right here to Blade. Too fast for you. And then 101-2 called strike 3 to Eugenio right there. Second inning, strikeout, 3-pitch strikeout of Nathaniel Lowe. There's a curveball. Good luck hitting that. There's going to be a strikeout here of Arroyo with 101.6. Good luck hitting that. Here's a single by Trevino. I think I'm just going to start going through the whole outing really quick here. One pitch, one batter at a time. So he gets a hit on a slider on 2-2. Then a one pitch out to Friedel, who's just recently back up, I think. Oh, it's a bunt. Oh, yeah, this was... Ooh, good pick there. Good pick there. In play outs, Ellie De La Cruz. Beats him with a fastball. Good pitch there. Can of corn. You also have him in a day game. Like, he should have been really hard to hit in this game with the bright background. Curveball down. Sal Stewart with the chase. He's mad that they didn't check it. Let's check on what we think. I think it's pretty close, but I think he goes. I don't know. It's pretty close, though. So you're out.
That was great.
All right, next up, Leday. First pitch fastball. That's the easiest 100 you'll ever see in your life. And this is where the unearned runs begin because Bowers drops this. Now, this is an error. We had a vote about this in the Discord. Everybody else besides me pretty much voted for hit. Obviously, I'm a biased pitcher, but I think the first baseman, Jake Bowers, should have caught this. And even though it's really close, I think he would have been out, and therefore it makes it an error. But I also want to say this is just a great bunt by Leday. This is a perfect bunt. So I want to reward him with a hit, but he dropped the ball right to his chest. So anyway, technically that's an error. He gets on. Here's a hit by Suarez. 2-1 fastball. Jam job hit. So that's just good hitters getting jammed. And you find a little grass. They have first and third, no outs. Now here's low. It's a 95-mile-an-hour cutter. He's going to get a weak pop-up. That was a good pitch by Miz. And then in-play runs here to Marte. First pitch cutter. So he tried to get ahead with some off-speed, and it didn't really work out. A little right-on-right cutter. I don't know if I would necessarily advise this, but again, he's just trying to get ahead, and I think you can even live with the one run here. But this is pretty middle. Next up, he's going to strike out Arroyo. Curveball was super effective. And that's going to bring us up to the Trevino home run. So let's watch this whole at-bat versus Trevino. Four-seam strike. Miz looks hot. Looks really hot there, too. And I can confirm it was hot the other night when I did their game. So maybe a little element of long innings can be a little tiring here. 0-2 cutter. More cutter usage than we've seen as of late. Four-seam away, pulled. Curveball here. Pretty good take. Let's watch that on replay. Yep, that's not a swing. So very close to getting out of it. Surprised he didn't stick with the hard stuff against Trevino here. But he goes cutter, and he's going to get clipped for the 3-run home run. Yeah, and that's just, you leave a cutter middle in, guy gets out ahead of it because he's on your fastball timing and pops it right down the line for a 3-run shot, and you're kind of left looking stunned on it. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen to the best of us. He might be the best pitcher in the world right now, but it's definitely going to happen to the best of us. Then he comes back with a couple strikeouts. And to me, he looks a little tired in this game. I mean, he has been throwing a lot, and he's been throwing as hard as we've ever seen a human being throw. So, just looks a little tired. Struggled with a few of those locations. To me, called strike 3 here. Looking back on it, I'm surprised they didn't call that a hit because everything seems to be a hit by official scorers' judgment right now. I think because MLB wants more hits onto the ledger for the league, but maybe a little bit of Miz bias there, calling that an error. But I mean, again, it is an error. But it's super gray area because technically an error. First baseman drops it, but also a great bunt. Surprised it wasn't called a hit. Ends up saving Miz 4 Ernies and keeps him way in control of the ERA title at the moment. So that was kind of weird. Dan thinks it'll be overturned. I'd be surprised. They don't usually overturn much, but we'll see. I generally that it's an error. Everything except they call everything a hit nowadays. That's true. I hear you. It's a good debate. All right, so that was the Miz. So to me, he just looked a little tired, not quite as dominant as before. And I thought maybe some weird locations and maybe an overusage of the cutter, especially right on right. As for Burns, I don't think it was his best game, but let's just watch his strikeout pitches. Slider here to Contreras. To me, this is one of the best sliders in the whole world. The high release, they think it's a fastball. It's nasty. So there's one looking for a strike. Here is Chorio. He's going to get him swinging on a slider.
Generational pitcher. He has arrived. 2-2 is Chorio. Swing.
I think he was out. I think he was out. I think the foot was just about to get to the base when Bowers closed the glove. So I think he would have been out. But that's just my opinion. Just one guy's opinion. There's a nasty downhill slider. That's such a good pitch. Here's a home run. Garrett Mitchell's been red hot. Let's watch Garrett Mitchell's home run.
He is such a talent.
And it's all been Oppo. He had 4 Oppo hits in the game I called the other night on ESPN, and here's an Oppo home run. I'm a big fan of Garrett Mitchell. This is why they've stuck with him so long through all the injuries, because he has speed, power, combo. He could be an elite player. He really could be. And finally, you're getting to see it a little bit, using the whole field for a home run. So that was just a great swing if you're Burns. Easy to let go of that. And where are my other strikeouts? There should only be 2 more. Oh, I missed this one early on. Here's a strikeout, and then there's one more. Nasty. That was disgusting. And then there's one more here late. David Hamilton called out on strikes. This is going to be a 99-4.
Standing in the tunnel, there's activity in the Brewer pen. And there's a called strike 3.
Nasty. I love Chase Burns' delivery. He's just fast twitch as it comes. He's nasty. So interesting to watch these guys go at it. You know, the young phenoms with all the velo. Obviously, they'll probably have their velo drop a little bit as they get into the grind of this thing a couple years in. But for right now, they're explosive, and guys haven't seen them yet, and they're dominating. Chase Burns has this cutty fastball at the top with best slider in the league, probably one of the top 3 sliders in the league, I'd say. Top 2, top 3. So that's why he's so effective. But he's been cruising. He's in the Cy Young race. I don't think he'll get there. Miz is way ahead of him, so is Sanchez. But he's putting up a hell of a year for a 23-year-old. 17 starts, 2.4, 10-1. Definitely a slam dunk all-star, so you'll see him in Philly. But he ended up doing it. As for the Miz, you know, I know it wasn't his best outing, but, you know, you just look at him on the season still. 9-4, 1.47, 104 innings, 156 punchies, 0.78 whip. So that was just a blip on the radar. If he did have the 4 extra earnings, he might be up a little closer to 2. But if anything, that was sort of an outlier game. And listen, he still struck out 10 and walked 0. So as long as you keep doing that, you're going to be just fine. I'm wondering if Milwaukee's not going to look for an opportunity to work in some rest for the Miz. I saw that they're probably going to keep him out of the All-Star game. But, you know, it remains to be seen how that will all look as we move forward. So that's it on that. I can see it as the error. It's possible now voters are going to say he's coddled when coming up for a reason, which is not a vote for him, which is a shame. It's tough. It's tough. Wild, no home runs on earned runs on a home run. Yeah, well, once the third out should have been recorded. No more earned runs. That's the rules. I don't know if I agree with it necessarily. We did so much looking at Skenes earlier, so it's in there if you want to rewind. Andrew Fischer time leading the minors in home runs and OPS. He's ready. 6 home runs and 11. You know what's crazy is when we were in the manager meeting the other day, Uncle Ted with Murphy, he made no indication that they were going to call up anybody to help out. Yeah, I'm about to be done in 1 minute. He made no indication that he was going to call up anybody to come save the offense or, well, not that they need saving. They're in first place or on the mound. So as great as Fischer's been, I'm not sure that he's going to get the call anytime soon. Now, he's doing everything he can to knock the door down, and maybe we should just quickly watch his AAA home runs or AA home runs. 6 home runs and 11 AA at-bats. So we'll do that, and then we'll do probables, and we'll say goodbye. Hey, buddy.
What does supermarket?
Yeah, and then we're going to go to the supermarket, me and you. We got big things to do, buddy. AA season. We want game log. All right. Let's watch all of Fischer's AA home runs if we have video. And then that's it. I go to take my son to the supermarket. All right, here's Andrew Fischer's first double-A blast of the season. .93-mile-an-hour left-on-left fastball, clobbered to right. The boys in the bullpen love it down the line. And that is the first home run of the year in double-A for Andrew Fischer. Now here comes another one here.
You're done yet?
I'm done in a minute, Bub. Just showing this one guy hitting home runs. Andrew Fischer. He was on my Italian team, Bubba. Ooh, beats a fastball. I mean, 92, but slightly up in the zone. Hits it over all the seagulls. Maybe over the scoreboard for a tank. So pull side tank there. He also homered on the next game he played. Did they do a midseason update on the Brewers prospects? I wonder where he ranks now. Another fastball, just middle clobbered. This guy's just clobbering balls. Oh, on top of the roof of the clubhouse or something back there. That was impressive. Then we have a home run here, and then there's a 2-home run game coming. So far it looks like all fastballs, just demolishing fastballs. This is a 1-0 count. Look like another fastball. This one's going to be right center. Up on that tent? Almost. Montgomery Biscuit Stadium. And then there's this 2-home run game against Chattanooga. This one's to left field, so he can use the whole field for homers too, apparently. Man, his attack angle has to be like 15, 16 degrees. But that's a bomb off of a light pole in left. And then his second bomb of this game is right here. Fastball up and in beats him to the spot. So he's got no problem with fastballs. I mean, he's crushing fastballs, even up and in. And yeah, you're right. He's put on an absolute show this year, Ted. He's been really impressive. Top 30 by team. Let's see if they have any good updates on this cat. And then we're going to do probables and say goodbye. Milwaukee Brewers. They have him right now as the 8th best prospect in the Brewers. Here are his stats from this season, which have been absurd. Cumulatively, between high A and double A, he's hitting 292, 436 with a 1.131 OPS, 26 home runs, 54 walks. He does have 100 strikeouts, but he's off to a hell of a game, so a hell of a start. So remember the name, Andrew Fischer. He's coming hot, and we'll see. We'll see if the Brewers give him any chances. I have my doubts, but we will see. All right. Time to do probables, and then I'm saying goodbye for the day. Thanks for everybody hanging with me on all platforms. All right, Cardinals-Cubs kicking off the rivalry today. Palante and Peterson. Pirates-Nats, Keller and Foster Griffin, who's been good. Twins-Yanks, Paredes and Garrett Cole. Orioles-Reds, Trevor Rogers, Brady Singer. White Sox-Guardians, Anthony Kay, Gavin Williams. New York Mets, Atlanta Braves, Christian Scott. Welcome back, Grant Holmes. Giants-Rockies, TBA and Ryan Feltner. Rays, Astros, Nick Martinez, Spencer Arrighetti. Sox, Angels, Jake Bennett, who's been awesome, and Reed Detmers, who's also been awesome. Number 2 in Fangraphs WAR right now for pitchers, Reed Detmers. Marlins, A's, Tyler Phillips, Jack Perkins. Brewers, Diamondbacks, Kyle Harrison, Jose Cabrera. Padres, Dodgers, Michael King, Shohei. That's a good one. And then our last game is Blue Jays, Mariners, Dylan Cease, and Luis Castillo. So that's it for the stream today. Appreciate you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe. The next stream will be on Monday. No streams this weekend. It's holiday weekend, so no streams. But I appreciate you guys big time. Thanks for everybody hanging with me today, and I will see you guys on the next stream. All right. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody. See you later.